quotas be set for salespeople, sales team, why or why not? And just a very, very normal question. And I'm curious to know, I mean, so if you are a manager, if you have a team working under you, if you have to lead people, do you think that there should be goals given? Do you think targets should be given? If yes, why? And if you think no, targets should not be given, goals should not be given, then why not? You can express your opinion on this page, and how you have to do it is you are more well-versed with technology than I am. So here is the sticky note. So most probably you can use this, or you can use a text box, whatever. So if you use a sticky note, it comes up like this. And I said, yes, target to be given. Suppose I feel because, I'll write the reason, okay? So my sticky note comes here. And similarly, don't move the screen. And I want you to express your opinion over here. If target should be given, why? If not, why not? So you can either use a text box, work on your text box and not on what is already there. Or you can use sticky notes, whatever. You want to express it by an image. You are that creative, innovative person who only expresses ideas through images. Please go ahead. Okay, so here's this person. He says, yes, target should be given as it would lead healthy competition among the sales force. There's another person who says, yes, it aids in measurement of performance. Also, one works best if he or she knows what they have to achieve. Okay, without a target in mind, they don't know whether what work they have done is sufficient or not. Fantastic. Anyone else? Okay, so this person says, yes, target should be given because it acts like a motivating factor for those who aren't doing well. It also has a sense of achievement. Yes, setting targets help finding deviations, analyze markets. They set a goal for the sales force, though they should be flexible. I like who has written this, and I mean, in the sense, we will discuss this. When you say, what do you mean by flexible? Relevant measurement metrics, fantastic. Direction helps in achieving goals, and a target will create a direction for the team. Anyone else? Yes, target should be, oh, okay. So we will just, can you decrease the size a little bit? Yes, target should be set. It helps align the goals what the organization expects. Whoever has written this, can you decrease the size a little bit so that we stay on the same page? Or maybe allow me to decrease the size. Yeah, perfect. Let's stick on the same page so that all of us can read each other's opinion. And for that, your box should be only as big as required and not be really, really very big. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me do the moving around, because when we all do the moving around, too many cooks spoil the broth. The poor box doesn't know where to go. I will ensure that all the boxes are visible. Don't worry. Anyone else who's planning to write anything, if you feel that target should be given or should not be given, so maybe I've asked you to write as a boss, maybe you can also write as an employee, and maybe as an employee you would love it that targets are not given. And then why? Oh, hello. As I said, let me allow to move the boxes. I will ensure that all the boxes are visible. So this person who's written, yes, target should be set for the sales force as it acts as a driving force for them. Allow me to please make it small. It's too big. It's not fitting on the page. And then we will have to move the page, which is not a great idea. Anyone else? You have another 30 seconds left. Please Share your opinion, share your views. Another 15 seconds left. Not every people. It's good to have opinions. For those of you who haven't shared your opinion, not everyone in life allows you to share your opinion. And when you get an opportunity, don't let it go. Learn to share your opinions, because you only share your opinion when you think that you are worth it. So start valuing yourself. The whole world is not waiting for your opinion. Whether people value us or they don't value us completely lies in our hand. It's how we behave, it's how we act, it's how we present ourselves. Who likes to sleep in person? No one. We all have to sleep one day. So this can be reduced. And okay, so let me, I can delete this completely. So, okay, I have opinion of people who have confidence in themselves and who think that they have the ability to share their opinion and their opinions matter. Fantastic. This is a trait which is not there in everyone. And as I read through it, important things. So somebody has said, yes, targets should be given to ensure optimal revenue is generated by the company. Definitely the target should be realistic. So whoever has written this, when we discuss quotas further, please do talk about, just remind me to talk about being realistic. Yes, a target should be given, and I like what you have written, that's why just remind me. Yes, a target should be given as it can be a factor to evaluate the performance and helps the salesperson to achieve individual as well as organization goals. Yes, very true. Otherwise, target should be given as it motivates them to do better, and they also get incentives if they cross their target. I like what you have given. However, I would be very happy when we are discussing targets, if you can help me understand that how it helps in motivation. Yes, target should be given since they set a goal for the sales force. Although they should be flexible. Again, I like what you've written, and I like the word flexible. My only request is when we are discussing about targets, whoever has written this, do remind me to discuss about flexible. Yes, provides relevant measurement metrics. Absolutely true. Otherwise, how do you score them? Yes, target should be given to motivate the salesperson and help them achieve and realize their capabilities, thus benefiting the organization. Okay, yes, good. Yes, target should be set for salesperson as it acts as a driving force for them. It also gives them a way, true, and compare their performances and take measures to improve it. Yes. Yes, targets and quota should be set. They give a metrics to measure performance and financial performance of both the sales team and the organization. I like how some of you have shared the view, though I had both, I mean, how it helps the individual, that is a salesperson, as well as the sales team. And that is so important, because when you work in an organization, please understand there is nothing called I. I mean, I is there only if we work together, and therefore the contribution of I should be important for the we also. Yes, it aids in measurement of performance, absolutely true. Also, one works best if he or she knows what they have to achieve. Without a target in mind, they don't know what work they have done is sufficient or not. Very true. It's easy to say, give me a blank canvas and I will paint. However, it always helps if you give a title to the painting. Yes, since quotas induce a sense of motivation. 2-3 people have written about motivation, and if you feel like it, do share your opinion later when we are talking about sales quota as to how do you think it motivates, or why do you think a direction motivates people. Yes, it drives the employee to perform his or hers to be able to achieve appreciation, and also helps in timely accomplishment of goals. True. Targets should be given because it helps the team to learn more about their team's productivity, success rate, and optimal sales processes. Yes, it provides a direction to the sales team, and they'll know how close or how far they are to meeting the sales target. But these targets at the same time must be achievable and realistic. Again, there are 2 people I think who have used the word realistic, and I would really request you when we are discussing to just remind me to talk about these words: achievable, realistic, flexible. Yes, targets serve as a motivational factor for the sales team as long as they're not stringent. So this is an opposite of most probably, I don't know, another way of talking about realistic, and that's why we use the word stringent. Do remember to discuss about this. On the same lines, flexibility shouldn't lead to deviation from organization goals. Fantastic. So on one hand, you're saying that don't be strict, and at the same time, we want to achieve the target. Sounds very, very good. Perfect answer, but how will we implement it? Please do let me know when we discuss it. Yes, it's important to give targets. Targets guide the sales force and helps them move in the right direction. True. Yes, setting targets helps in finding deviations and analyze markets. Have I missed reading anyone? I don't think so, right? Okay, so let's just go back to, so let's keep this in mind. Thank you so much for all those who shared your opinion. Let's go back to our class. I'll keep that whatever you've said in mind. And as I said, and just remind me if I miss out on something, and let me come back to the, so let's discuss now in light of what you have said and how it happens in real life. Yeah, so as I said, we'll be discussing sales quota. And the first thing that we talk about is, but what is a sales quota or a target? So it's a quantitative goal assigned to a specific marketing unit, such as a salesperson or a territory for a time period. Please look at some very, very important words. Number one, quantitative goal. You have to sell 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5 units. We do not say, hey, you sell as per your ability. Hey, you sell as per your mood. Quantitative. So we define assigned to a specific marketing unit, such as salesperson or territory, again for a time period. You have to sell 100 units in 1 month. You have to sell 100 units in 2 months. You have to sell 100 units in 3 months, whatever. It's not that you have to sell and you can take your own sweet time. No, a time period. So the important words over here is, one is quantitative goals. Secondly, for a time period. Why do we need sales quota? And let's see how the opinions that you shared, whether they match up over here or not, or can we add more to it? For motivating salespeople, and there were at least 3 or 4 people who said motivating salespeople. If it's okay with you, and if you are comfortable, would you like to tell me what did you mean when you said motivating salespeople? I'll wait for 15, 20 seconds and then move on. So people, there were at least 3 or 4 people who wrote on that board that it helps in motivation. Anyone who would care to explain this? And yes, in the slide also it says that it helps in motivating salespeople. So anyone cares to explain what do you mean by this? How do you link it to motivation?
Ma'am, what I feel is that when you give someone a target, you basically are telling them to do something, and then you have something to achieve. There is something to look forward to. They have something they can work towards. That's, I feel, motivating.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, a very simple way of describing it and putting it forward. Appreciated, Sarthak. Anyone else? Divija has written something in the chat box. 1 minute. She says, ma'am, according to Herzberg theory, even the work affects the level of motivation. Obviously, yes, definitely. I mean, take a person who has work and take a person who doesn't have work. When you have something to look forward to, when you have something to work towards, it is motivating. Why is it motivating? Because someone trusts you. Someone thinks you are capable enough to deliver. If you want to link it to various theories of motivation, then also you can do it very easily. Please understand that motivation is what helping a person reach a goal to define the goal. Yes. So motivation, yes, definitely. If I don't know what I have to do, we may think that we are all very, very disciplined people and I can charter my own route. The reality is no. We all need a direction, and that's what motivates us. Most of us, The percentage of people who can charter their own path completely is very, very less. I need someone to show me a direction, and yes, then I would perform. I will perform. So yes, motivation is extremely important, and therefore one of the ways of motivating, as it says, is to by giving sales quota. It provides a quantitative performance standard. Very true, but why do I need a performance standard? I need a performance standard because at the end of the year or at the end of the quarter, I need to evaluate people. How will I evaluate? I need some standard. And these sales quota provide that standard. It helps me to distinguish between a person who's performing versus a person who's not performing. So go back to the HBR article where it says that on a simple scale, you can put your people under 3 brackets, which is laggards, core performers, and star performers. Great, but how do I identify who's a star performer? By this quantitative performance standard. And then accordingly, it helps me to identify good salespeople. But why do I need to identify good salespeople? For a very simple reason. I can then groom them to be the leaders of tomorrow. Please understand, I need to differentiate between people so that first we can give them the required training and also understand that who are the people who can be groomed as leaders for tomorrow. Because in a good organization, at any point of time, while we are bothered about the present, yes, we are also bothered about the future. Leaders don't come overnight. They have to be trained. You have to provide them the required exposure. But should I provide the required exposure to all my salespeople or the ones who show it that, yes, they are capable of it? And one of the ways of identifying this is quantitative performance. Tighter sales and expense control, what does it mean? Obviously, when I give quotas, now please understand, I will be explaining to you that even quotas are of different kind. So I may give that, yes, you have to sell 100 units this month, but at what cost? What does it mean? Now, if a salesperson has to sell 100 units, he may have to travel. He may have to visit 10 clients. Now, when he's traveling, he's spending petrol. Maybe he's traveling out of the city and he's staying in a hotel. Will he spend that petrol money and hotel money from his own pocket? No, no. It has to be given to him by the company. But if I give him a free rein and say, yeah, it's okay, you just might find that he's staying in one of the best hotels, and the price of the room is more than what the price of the product is. So expense control means we tell them that, yes, you can spend so much on petrol and you can spend so much on staying in a hotel, you can spend so much on treating your customers, so on and so forth, because that is equally important. Now, principles, how do we set the quota? And this is, look at the words which have come. So somebody had used realistic, somebody had used flexible, and this is what I'm going to talk about. The first one, simple to understand. What does it mean? What do you mean by simple to understand? Any idea? 1 minute. Yeah, any person. What do you mean by, so the first one, it says is simple to understand. The goals or the quota should be simple to understand. So maybe let me explain it like this. So when you are given an exam, when you are told that you have to appear for exams, the rules are very simple. Number one, you should have more than 75% attendance. Number two, you only pass if you score minimum 40%. Simple to understand. Right? So these are the two things that I have to do to be eligible for the exam. Similarly, when the question paper, so similarly for quotas and targets, it should be easy for the salesperson to understand what is expected out of him. So he has to sell these 100 units in 1 month. He has to sell these 100 units in a particular territory, or how does it work? And is selling of every 100 units the same? It should be the rules, the regulations should be very, very simple, which he can understand, or you should help him understand those rules and regulations. The second thing which it says is, so the second thing which it says is achievable, sorry, 1 minute. It says achievable with optimum effort. Now, what does this mean? So somebody had said realistic. Now, I keep repeating this in every class that there's nothing called maximum and minimum. What we want is your optimum effort. So it should not be so easy to achieve that everyone achieves it. Then you're not distinguishing between a star performer and a laggard. If you're putting such an easy goal that if everyone can achieve it, then you are taking away the motivation from the star performer. Why would he like to work for your company? I mean, your goals are something which anyone can achieve it. Why do you want to go to the best of the universities in India or outside India? Why? Because you get admission in there with optimum effort, and therefore only the best people get admission. It helps to differentiate. So it cannot be minimum, it cannot really be maximum, there's nothing called maximum, but it should be achievable with optimum effort. And anything that you can achieve with optimum effort is realistic. Flexibility, again, what does it mean, flexibility? On one hand, I'm saying that you should be able to achieve it with optimum effort. On the second hand, you're saying it should be flexible. So what does it mean? A salesperson comes back to me and says, you know what, you had given me a target of 100 units, but I can't achieve it, so just make it 80. Flexibility. No, it doesn't mean that. Flexibility means that you should be able to respect the environment in which you are in and be able to change according to the environment. What better example than to give of these times? When the targets were set way back in March, April for this financial year, nobody had predicted Corona. And therefore, targets were set with a certain environment in background. So people had seen the working the 2019-20, and they wanted to go beyond it, and so on, did the forecasting, so on and so forth. But when Corona hit India, the world, obviously the sales targets and quotas could not be achieved the way we had thought we would achieve them. Everything changed. It's changed everything. In such a situation, your salesperson is not at fault if he is not able to achieve the target which you had set in March. And therefore, a company needs to be flexible enough to, as I said, accept and respect the environment which we are in, change the strategy, and accordingly change the quota. Finally, level of definiteness, which means that, yes, it cannot be, hey, you can achieve anything between 100 to 150. No, you have to achieve 100, or you have to achieve 150, or you have to achieve 120. Please be very, very clear what you are expecting them to be. In short, as we say, use the principle of SMART. Specific, be specific. 100 units, 120 units, 150 units. Measurable, define things which are quantitative, achievable with optimum effort, realistic, which makes it realistic, and finally, they should be time bound. At this point of time, any questions, any doubts, please let me know before I proceed further. Are we all clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as we proceed further, yeah, so as I said, use the principle of SMART. Now, how are sales targets set in companies? Well, obviously, sales forecasting is extremely important. And for those of you who've gone through the asynchronous videos and material that I've shared on sales forecasting, you would know what I'm talking about. Depending on the type of company, depending what your goals are, you can use various forecasting methods. It's not just forecasting methods, it's also past performance. Obviously, forecasting takes this into account, the salesperson feedback, the executive judgment, all that together, which helps us in deciding the sales quota. In order to do this, please go through your sales forecasting module that I have shared with you on Google Classroom, and in case of any doubts, come back to me. As I said, there are different types of quota. Now, what do I mean by different types of quota? This is the first one, monetary sales volume quota. What does monetary sales volume quota mean? It's very simple. So you have to generate rupees, whatever, rupees 5 lakh, you have to generate a revenue of rupees 10 lakh this month by selling a product. Extremely simple. So you give a monetary target to the sales people or the sales team or the sales manager, and you tell them that this quarter or this month or this year, so you have to achieve a revenue of a sales of rupees 10 lakh, 20 lakhs, 15 lakhs, whatever the company says. If that's monetary sales volume quota, then what would be unit sales volume quota, and why would I use unit sales volume quota? Now, let me explain this with an example. So let's talk about bullion. Bullion is gold. India is the largest important country for gold. Now, gold prices really fluctuate. I don't know what are the present prices right now. If we can open, so let's assume that for a unit, forget gold. So let's not take the example. I mean, but yes, gold is a perfect example where prices keep fluctuating, right? So let's take an example. Here is a product whose prices fluctuate. Now, we had given the target to our salespeople to for a monetary sales volume of generating around, let's assume, 100. So rupees 100 per month, very simple. And at that point of time, the price of every unit was rupees 10 per unit. Okay. So let's assume that if you want to take gold, then let's assume, wow, this could be possible.
Ma'am, the screen is not shared, so we can't.
What? Okay. Thanks for telling me. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Bita. Is it shared now? It's there.
Yes,
now?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Nice, Bita. So let me go back, and I was saying that what are the different types of sales volume quota? The first one, monetary sales volume quota. What is monetary sales volume quota? Very simple. So you have to generate so much revenue for the company this month or this quarter or this year, whatever. So you have to generate, in very simple language, if we have to take an example, so you have to generate rupees 100 per month for the company. Very clear. Then what is unit sales volume quota? I was saying, so unit sales volume quota, let me understand it with the price, where with an example where prices fluctuate, and I was talking about gold whose prices keep going here and there. So here is a product whose prices fluctuate, and we had given our salesperson the quota most probably in March, April, or May, and we said you have to generate rupees 100 per month, and at that point of time, it was rupees 10 per unit. So effectively, he had to sell around, if I do simple maths, he had to sell around 10 units. Unfortunately, the circumstances became very, very difficult, and prices dropped down to rupees 8 per unit. Okay. Now, if the price has dropped down to 8 per unit, then now he has to sell, instead of 10 units, he has to sell around 12.5 units. Is it fair on him? It's not fair on him. There can be another situation also. The prices increased. The prices became rupees 15 per unit, or maybe 12 per unit. And the moment the prices became 12 per unit, he just had to sell 8 units. So while in this case, it is, let me decrease this. So while in the first case, it's so heavy on the salesperson. He thought he just had to sell 10 units, and now he has to sell 12.5 units. On the other hand, in this case, it's not really good for the company. Only 8 units are being sold. So usually what we do in such circumstances is we put a unit sales volume quota. You have to sell 10 units, irrespective of what the price is, whether the price increases or the price decreases. And therefore, we are being fair to the organization as well as to the salesperson. But what really, however, when I'm talking about monetary and unit sales volume quota, I'm somewhere assuming that the company has only one product to sell. And therefore, it's very simple, monetary and unit sales volume quota. However, a company may have more than one product to sell, which usually happens in companies. In such a situation, we have point sales volume quota. And let me show you this with an example. So here is a company. It has 3 products, A, B, and C. It has 2 salespeople. And look at it, we have given equal sales volume quota to those people. So they have to sell 20,000 for product A, 20,000 for product B. Let it be monetary, 10,000 for product C. But I find something very interesting, that there is a weight given to the products. So product A has a weight of 1, product B has a weight of 1, while product C has a weight of 2. When does this usually happen? So let me explain this with an example. Here is a company which has different products, and their product A and B are fast-selling products. What does it mean? They are so popular in the market. People are so aware about these products in the market that it is not difficult to sell them. And therefore, when it is not difficult to sell them, the effort required by the salesperson to sell them is also not so much. And therefore, we have given them a weight of 1. On the other hand, there is this product C, maybe a newly launched product. People are not really aware of this product. We still need to create that awareness. People are not very willing to buy this product. And therefore, the effort required to sell this product is far more than the effort required to sell the fast-selling products like A and B. If given a choice, no salesperson would like to sell product C because it requires so much effort. They would be very comfortable selling only product A and B, the typical human nature. Who wants to work too much? If I can just sell A and B and achieve the same targets of 44,000, why should I go to product C? And therefore, in such a situation, the product C is given a weight of 2. If I've made myself clear, the next thing that I want you to do is, please solve this problem for me. Give me a minute. I will stop the recording. I will stop the recording so that I can share the screen with you for a longer period of time. Take your time and solve this problem for me, or we'll solve it together. So